There's about 2.5 weeks left until Christmas, and I've started knitting on some presents for my friends and family. I'm from a really big family with lots of siblings, and I have wonderful in-laws, so knitting something for just everybody is a bit of a stretch. I tried last year by making a hat for each of my siblings and my parents, but it ended up being a bit hectic. I barely finished, and in January I did not knit much at all to recover from the hackathon, as I called it in my head. So this year I'm taking a bit more of a mindful and slow approach to gift knitting, and I'm excited to share all of my tips and tricks with you. Whereas I'm usually talking about Christmas in this video, this is applicable to all kinds of gift knitting you might want to do during the year. So, here we go. My first advice is to carefully pick the people you want to knit for and what you want to knit for them. Ask yourself if the person will use the item you're making. Do they ever wear scarves or mittens? Do they like turtlenecks? Do they even like handmade gifts in general? And also, does what you're wanting to make fit their style? Chances are, if they never ever wear knit items, they're not going to start for you. You can still give it a try, of course, but I would then go for a smaller gift like a pair of mittens or a hat, not for the full cabled sweater. Before I start my Christmas knitting, I make a list of all of the potential ideas I have. I then sort these by priority. This is important for me because I always have more project ideas than I can realistically finish. I then just start working my way down the list from the top and see how far I actually get. The priority order in my list is purely decided by which projects I actually want to knit, or weave or embroider, and for whom. Since knitting is one of my main hobbies, I wanted to stay fun and lighthearted, and picking projects that make me happy helps me to achieve just that. Something that also really helps me to avoid stress with any gift knitting is to have a backup plan for each handmade present in mind. If I finish my gifts in time, I'll simply save the backup until my giftee's next birthday, and then you have already got that planned. If I don't manage to finish my gift in time, I don't have to look for an alternative last minute. Another important point is to pick your materials very carefully. Take a moment to think about the person you're knitting for. Do they have really sensitive skin maybe? Or are they parents with little children and very little time to hand wash anything? And do they know how to care for delicate fibers? I find that it's often advisable to err on the side of caution here. When in doubt, pick a yarn that can go in the washing machine, and potentially even in the dryer, because who doesn't love that? Or you could go for an item that only very rarely needs washing, like a shawl or mittens. When I select what to knit as a gift, I try to be realistic and keep my usual knitting speed in mind when I feel drawn towards very lofty projects. For Christmas especially, I ask myself, how much time will I have available for knitting in the run-up for Christmas? Have I ever knit 2 shawls in a week? Am I being kind to myself by giving myself so much work? And am I leaving myself enough time to actually sit back and enjoy the festive season? It's good to remember that you aren't obligated to make anything for anyone. And I'm very sure that the people you care enough about to knit a handmade gift for them wouldn't want you to be stressed or unhappy in the run-up for Christmas. As knitters, we tend to know a lot about different fibers and different yarns. That is not true for everyone. I find that including detailed care instructions with my gifts really helps the people I gifted them to take care of them. This prolongs the life of the knitted item and allows your loved ones to enjoy them for longer. Telling someone an item needs hand washing, especially in the Christmas or birthday hustle and bustle, is a very sure way for that advice to be forgotten. So what I do is I write it down. I have these little tiny stamps I found on Etsy to create little labels I tie to my projects when I give them away, but a handwritten note will also just do fine. And that leads me to my final bit of advice. No matter how carefully you picked that one project for your relative, and no matter how many hours you spent on it, at some point your mom is going to lose that color work mitten. And the cashmere hat you made is probably going to be accidentally washed in the washing machine since it got slipped in with a load of hiking sportswear. Also, it might be that your friend secretly gave away that cabled vest you made because it's not quite her style. Handmade things will not always be treated with the gentle care they need, and not everyone will know just how much time and effort you spent on a gift. And that's okay. If that's something you find very upsetting, then maybe handmade gifting is not the right choice for you. And that's also okay. Part of gift knitting is finding joy and meaning in the process of creating something. And of course, we all love it when the things we make get worn often and loved. But just like you sometimes get gifts that don't quite hit the mark, you will also sometimes gift gifts that are not quite the right fit for the recipient. And that's fine. That doesn't mean the other person doesn't appreciate you, your time, or your effort. A gift shouldn't come with a whole bunch of strings and expectations attached to it. Over time, you'll find out who of your friends and family values handmade gifts and who might feel just a little bit less enthusiastic about them. So these are my tips for stress-free gift knitting. I hope you found them helpful, and let me know if you have any further advice in the comments below. I'll keep working my way down my priority list now, and I'll show you footage of all of my Christmas knits in the beginning of January, once they have all safely arrived at their destinations. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Happy gift knitting!